Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 4, part 2 of the Green Effect podcast. This is a continuation of part 1, which featured Kris Dutkiewicz of Krippled Weeds, former member of Canadian Sledge Hockey and Canadian Wheelchair Basketball. First episode was all about what happened to Kris, how he did end up in a wheelchair, and this episode we go even deeper. This episode's going to talk about his outlook on life, why he's got such a positive outlook. We talk about positivity breeding positivity, what he went through as a member of both of those national teams, and just overall, you're going to understand better as to how Kris has this just amazing outlook. Anyway, enjoy the episode. It is definitely one to remember, save, and come back to later. So without further ado, here we go.
Welcome to the Green Effect Podcast. Finance, life, business, and everything in between. And now, your host, Stephen Green.
Well, and that amazes me, and I think that's why, I've got so much respect for you, because and I want you to talk about this. You've said a number of things to me, and it's like, listen, I'm a competitive guy. If something like that happened to me, I don't even know what I would do. I don't know if I'd be strong enough. I don't know. I'd probably be miserable. I would probably.
I was.
Who knows? Yeah,
I was.
But tell me about your outlook. Like, your outlook it blows me away. I mean, your outlook on life is it's amazing. Only because of what you've been through, what you've done, what you've gone through, right?
Well, then that's the process to get here. Like, I was always a happy person. Like, I have one of my other clients. They were my babysitters when I was 6, 7 years old. Mm-hmm. They're my clients now. It's 30 years later, and Mike's still, Kris, you're always the happiest kid. The happiest kid ever. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You're never always polite. And I'm like, I don't remember being like that.
Yeah.
But it was the way I guess I've been this way for my whole life. But, in those young teens, late teens, early 20s, most people are idiots.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Some bad choices get made is a different way to put it. Yep.
Yeah, and they don't think. Yeah. There's no ramification to anything. You just, let's do that. Yep. And that's the way it goes. Like, right after I was paralyzed in the hospital, I was in ICU for 10 days, and then they shipped me to Parkwood Rehab Hospital in London. And I was angry. I hated the world.
That's the only thing I could think of would be anger.
I didn't want to eat. I was pissing my pants in my bed because you don't have no control over that. Sorry, there's another bleep for you.
That's right. After the first one, I'll get good at it. It's fine. Or it's going to mark it as explicit. All learning experience. At this point, don't stop.
Yeah. You don't think about those things like, how am I going to crap again? Right? Like, oh, man, I haven't,
Some things you almost take for granted.
Yeah, I sit on the toilet now for an hour because that's what I do, right? Back then, you didn't have that choice. You rolled onto your left side and you reached around back with your right. Like, that's how I was taught. It was like, I don't want to do this forever. And I was depressed and angry and didn't want to do rehab. And then day 21 hit, and I just come back up from rehab down and was just angry, and Julie was there and she helped me throw my legs into bed. So she did this. My foot was there, and it was just literally, it was just wiggling like this. Just the littlest wiggle.
Yeah.
And I was like, just effing stop. And it stopped. And I went, go? And it started twitching again. And I went, stop. And it stopped. And I was like, Julie, look at this.
Get a camera. It's going.
Yeah. And she was like, oh my God. She's like, are you doing that? I was like, I'm telling it to stop it going, and it's listening, so I think I'm doing it.
Something's happening.
Right? And from that point on, my outlook changed. It was because, okay, I'm going to get better. That was my thought pattern. Right away, I was like, okay, my brain's starting to reconnect things down here. Let's do this, right? And I still wasn't eating. That was my biggest problem. I couldn't keep anything down. I would take a bite of something and I couldn't swallow.
Why couldn't you swallow? Just
my body would not let me swallow. I could not physically. I could drink as much as I wanted, but when it came to actual food, no. And to the point where I was, Kris, you need to eat, or you're going on. We're gonna have to put you on a tube. I'm gonna have to be on a feeding tube, Kris. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to be on a feeding tube, but I can't eat. They're like, well, take these pills. I'm like, no, I don't want to take the pills because that's probably why I'm not eating. Yeah. Right? And
it was a vicious circle.
Right? And they're like, well, are you taking your pain meds? I was like, yeah, but I'm trying to get off them. It's 20 days after the accident. You got me on 12 Percocets a day.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
I'm trying to wean myself off. There's a reason why I'm not eating. And sure enough, they just let it be. And I said, one of the guys came in. He was a quad. Just came in to have his wrist fixed. So they were taking a tendon out of his higher up, and it's just so he could do this with his wrists, right? He had both done at the same time because his hands don't work anyways. He just needs this so he could actually maybe do a few other things around the house. His name was Shane. I met. He was like, hey, man, he was my age. He'd just been paralyzed 3 or 4 years earlier, so he's still pretty fresh. And he was like, hey, man, do you want to go outside for a smoke? And I was like, well, I haven't had a smoke in 20 plus days, so I'm not interested, but I'll come outside with you. He's like, yeah, that'd be great. My hands don't work. Your hands work. You can run a lighter for me. Right? Yeah, for sure, man.
That's how friendships can work, eh? It's all good.
So we literally went down, and Parkwood was a rehab hospital on one half and a retirement home on the other half. So we went down to the games room and out to the games room because it's almost December now, and go to the games room, and they have a patio out there that they kept shoveled off. So we go out there, and he's like, can you go in my pouch for me and get my smokes? And I got him his smokes, and I lit it for him, and he's like, can you go in there and get my little bat? And I was like, your bat? Okay. He's like, the little wooden box in there. I pulled it out, and I was like, oh, I know what this is. It was a little weed box with a little bat, right, and a hitter, right? And he was like, just pack that up for me, man. So I packed it up and gave him a couple puffs, and he was like, do you want one? And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think I should.
Let me tell you a story.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I was like, no, I don't think I should. And he's like, yeah, it's just have a little bit, maybe it'll help. You in pain? I was like, no, not really. A little cold, hungry, but I can't eat. He's like, just have a puff. So I had one puff. And it's winter. So we're outside, and I'm like, I didn't get nothing off of that. Yeah, we go inside, and I don't know if you've ever smoked, but you're outside in the cold and you're smoking. It doesn't affect you. But when that heat hits you, it just goes, whoo, right? Well, we hit the wall going through the door, and I was just like, man, I messed up. I had to hold on to the back of his chair, and he had to drag me back up to the rehab because I'm in a manual chair and he was in a power chair. Oh, right? And I got up there, and I was so out of it and hungry. I ordered pizza. And I ordered 2 large pizzas from Pizza to my rehab hospital at 11 o'clock at night, and went and sat beside the nurse station because they were all like, did you eat your supper tonight? Because that's where it was at with me. Like everyone, have you eaten today? Yeah,
because they're trying to get you going. Yeah.
Right? And pizza showed up, and they were like, yeah, we got a pizza delivery. And I was like, that's right here. And all the nurses were just like, what the heck? And literally, I just put them down on the nurses station, opened the first one, and just started eating right there on the spot. And I ate a whole pizza. Like a whole large pizza. I ate it. And my head nurse just looked at me, and she went, Kris, what did you just do? I was like, that pizza was delicious. She was like, how are you eating that pizza? I was like, I got the munchies. she was like, munchies. I was like, yeah, I went outside with Shane and he smoked a little marijuana with me. She went, and you ate a whole pizza? And I went, yeah. And she went, well, smoke a little more tomorrow and eat that other pizza, okay?
Oh, jeez.
And I went, okay. And then I went back to my room, put my pizza in the fridge, went back to my room, called my friends. I was like, the nurse just told me I'm allowed to smoke. Bring me some stuff. Let's do this, right?
And a pizza.
And I've had no eating issues ever since then. But it was literally, that was just an appetite thing for me.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I still puffed today.
Yeah.
But I do it when I can't eat. You know?
So it truly is a medical thing.
Yeah.
For you.
Like, and it's just to get nutrition in me. Like I was at hockey camp all last week, selection camp to make our national sledge hockey team. The food there is brutal. I don't know how the guys eat it. Like, it is garbage. Like, I love asparagus. I don't love asparagus swimming in butter.
Oh,
you know?
No. Where were you eating?
This
is not the National Team Training Center.
No, well, it's at the hotel.
At the hotel, okay.
Right?
Got
and,
it. Yeah.
And the food that's catered in,
Yeah.
it's no better. Like at the rink, it's no better.
Oh.
Like I like healthy food. You know, right. I don't like garbage. Like I eat garbage once a week because I know I'm gonna feel like crap the next day. But I'm not cooking tonight. Yeah. So if I eat out, it's gonna be garbage.
That's right.
You know,
if it's gonna be a treat, it's gonna be a treat.
Truthfully, you're really close to a really healthy place to eat, and I love it. The Green Leaf over here.
Yeah.
Love that.
Been there before. It's good.
Right, but if you're not into that salad, it ain't for you.
Yeah.
But I'm into that salad because, put 3 chicken breasts on that for me. Okay. They don't care. They're going to make it how I want it.
Well, and you know, I've even gone that route too where, you know, we're digressing a little bit here, but I mean, if I go to Subway or whatever, I'm not even having the bun. I'm having the salad part and the spinach and the, you know, the whatever else. And, you know, because it's real food. Like, yeah. You know, it's not all the other stuff that's out there. We were talking before the show. It's when you go to the U.S., that's the worst. You can't find anything that's not soaked in butter, sugar, or deep fried. It's tough.
Exactly.
You
that's why I eat at the Pita Pit.
That's right. Again, man, Lou and Andrea, your check is bill's gonna be big. Oh man.
But yeah, that's just life, you know. So that's where it went for me, and you know, I didn't do anything sports wise. Mm-hmm. It was just eating good, healthy. In the hospital, by the end of it, I was the general. Oh, I was the first one out of bed in the morning, going to everyone's room. Hey, how you feeling today? You're good? You're going to come down to rehab?
Yeah.
You know, because that's the person they needed.
But you even said, I mean, so Kyle, my son, he, you had, before you met us, you knew him from where you worked out at Good Life.
Yeah, Franny was his trainer.
Yeah, and...
Gave him props all the time.
Yeah. Well, Kyle would say, you know, when he finally saw you in our backyard, he's like, I know that guy, right? Put it all together. And he even said, yeah, when I worked out, he would say, hey, change this, it's better technique, or good job. And, you know, it's that's that outlook I'm talking about. You know, that's awesome.
Yeah, you see positivity, you got to recognize it.
Yeah.
There's just, like, it's great to do positive things, but if you can't recognize positivity in someone else, then you're not doing anything positive in your life, you know. Like Kyle's great.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Kyle's a great example. He's a young guy. He probably was trying to make a sports team of some kind, and that's why he went to the gym. He wanted to bulk up, get a little stronger, maybe a little more flexible. I don't know, but you see, if he was 13 or 14 years old boy training with a trainer, you go, he's determined. He wants to do something, you know. You can see young guys like that. They struggle. You can see young people. They struggle in the gym sometimes, or just in life in general, because they're doing the right thing, but they don't know if they're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
you know.
And we're talking both technique and just being there, having the healthy lifestyle. Right?
Yeah, right. And so just a little, hey man, good job today. You know, you're killing that workout. You're killing that exercise. You know, I watched you row. You know, just little things like that. Most people could dictate in the gym. A fist bump is a huge compliment. You were wheeling past someone and they just hit a set and you give them a fist bump. They're like, yeah, I just did that.
Someone noticed.
Yeah.
Someone. This is meaning something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I became who I am as a person in chairs, because I did all these things and I didn't just do them to make myself feel good. I did them so that those other people would feel better about themselves. Because half the people I was in the hospital with were quadriplegics. I'm never going to be able, I found out I cracked C4, that's up there. That could have made my hands go, and, you know, life would be way different. Like, who knows what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good way to put it.
Like, so those guys, all right, like, I recognized that right away. It was like, oh, do you need a drink? You know, like, hey, man, I'm going to bed. Do you need anything? Yeah, Kris, could I just get a little drink out of my Dasani? Right? Straw in. Because they're lying in bed. The next time they get a drink is when they call the nurse in and be like, hey, could I get a drink?
Yeah.
You know? Not being able to have a drink. Like, oh.
Something as simple
Hey,
as
man,
that.
do you want me to hang out with you for 10 minutes so you can finish your drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. What are we watching? You know, that's
that something positive. I mean, it's not over the top. It's just a different way of being positive with others, you know?
Yeah, and positivity breeds positivity.
It does.
You know?
Sure
Like,
does.
you want to be negative your whole life? You're probably in the crapper. Straight up. Whether you make all the money in the world. If you're negative, you're probably not a very happy person.
Yeah. You know what? And you don't start to realize that until, obviously, you've been through, or as you get older. You know, you don't start to realize that until experience of maturity.
Yeah.
That's when that starts. Because now, hey, I know how old I am. I know how old my wife is, my kids. Now it's just, I don't care what money I make, where I live. Can we just be happy? What that cost is so, it can be so high, it can be so low. But I think it just depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Mentally, right? So, because it's, as you get older, you get wiser. I remember being younger, people say, oh, you're just a young buck. Yeah, but I know everything. Yeah, no, you don't know anything.
That's
You said that earlier, right? You're younger, you make bad decisions, bad choices. I look back and there's lots of things I wouldn't have done again.
I've met a lot of intelligent young people. They're still dumb, you know, because they only see not 99%. You know, that 1%, they're capable of taking themselves out of the picture, sliding off to the side, and looking at it from a different perspective. You know, most adults can't do that. Most people, they're stuck in their ways. They're incapable of stepping back from the situation and looking at it from a non-biased standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can have an opinion, but you're arguing with someone, you better be able to step back so you can actually hear the argument.
That's a skill. That's a skill.
Yeah, well, it's a big skill, yeah.
Man.
You know, like, but most people can't. They can't do stuff like that. It's too hard on their brain.
True.
You know?
Very true.
Like,
you know, you said one time, I don't even know if I heard it through someone else or you told me, but, you know, so you said this whole thing probably saved your life.
oh, God, yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, like, I was a drunk, loved my drugs. Like, it saved my life. I'd be in jail because I would have done something stupid, you know? Got behind the wheel drunk or something. I was pretty good. I never really drank and drive. Like, I knew I was going out. No sense taking the car, you know. But, like, who knows? I could have killed someone. Definitely would have probably got into the life of crime because I was already dabbling. You know, I did a lot of things for a lot of people that probably should never gotten done. And I was a good person doing bad things.
Yeah.
You know, it saved my life. I'd be in jail or dead. You know, because it only takes one bad night. I barely survived the night I got paralyzed. So
Because of those choices.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, you know, and every day that I get up, it's the present. Yes, that's my gift to me. Each day I wake up and go, oh yeah, I'm alive.
I'm on this side of the ground.
Let's do this, you know?
And see, that's where someone, listen, I've never, knock on wood, I've never been through that whole trauma. And that's hard for someone like, and I said this earlier, it's hard for someone like myself to even understand. I can't understand it, right? It's so tough because I would probably be like you. I'd be so angry and I just, and it's hard to wrap my brain around.
And that's the hard part for everybody. You don't know how you're going to deal with trauma until you go through trauma.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
You're never going to know. No one's going to be able to describe it to you, because I might be able to deal with trauma way better than you, but you might be able to deal with it way better than Tracy.
True.
Right? So all our different traumas, you know, a major trauma for you could just be a minor trauma for me, and it has no effect or relevance on me. It's not going to kill me. You know, I'm going to live through it. Yes, there's a setback, but I'm still going to be breathing, you know? Trauma is such a hard, finicky thing. Like, hope this never happens, but just say after this podcast, one of the kids falls sick. No questions asked, just they're in a coma. You leave here after this, you know? That's going to be traumatic. Mm-hmm. But how are you going to deal with that trauma? Yeah. You know? Most people can't get to that point like, okay, how am I dealing with this? It's boom, trauma.
And that's when you find out.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, and then most people their brain just goes, oh my God, they're dying. Oh, this has happened. Or, God forbid, someone actually does die. How do you deal with that? Well, who died? You know, like, I love my friends to death, but like, people get so wrapped up when their grandparents pass away. And my thought is, I lost all my grandparents by the time I was 12. You're 40 and your grandmother just died? Oh, you got a whole 40 years with your grandma? Wow. How about that? Like, do you know where I'm going here? And it's just like,
I know where you're going.
Wake up. You know, be thankful for that time you had with them. Why are you crying about it?
But again, you don't know. You don't know until it happens, right? And that's right. Where it is.
And it's you know, but you know, someone loses their baby, and it was due to health complications. You know, I feel horrible. That baby probably passed away because it probably was going to. Like, there's a lot of babies walking around that if it wasn't for medical science right now, they wouldn't be here.
It's true.
You know? Like, I'd probably still be here. Mm-hmm. My surgery was elective. But, you know, 100 years ago, this kills me. Straight up, you know? Yeah. The only reason I'm alive is because I got to a hospital. Like, that's where people don't really think. It's like, oh, that's a terrible thing. But, you know,
it's different way. It's different spin, different way of looking at it.
Yeah, there's so many, like, you know, everyone probably got an extra 20 years because of medical health care.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Hey, I got a grandmother who's 104. I know.
She's lived a full life.
She's. I can say this because it's absolutely true.
Did she know Charlie Chaplin?
Oh, no. Born the same year, not early. Yeah, it's. That's one thing in our good Italian family. It's say what they will about food and drink, but wine helps, and so does all the. Listen, my grandparents were. They grew all their own food, right? So, I mean, we can look at a lot of people now in that generation where, you know, my grandmother didn't eat at McDonald's. You know, they didn't eat the crap we eat these days. Even the stuff you get from the store you think is good, right? They didn't eat all that. It was fresh, real, and I know how much we ate on a Sunday. It was all real good food, believe me. It was, you know, I mean, should we have eaten as much? No, probably not. But did we carb load? Sure we did. But not intentionally, and it was all good.
Well, that's it, right? I don't get lawns. I don't get why people have front lawns. Most people's front lawns can probably grow at least a half year worth of vegetables per front lawn. But it's not convenient. Got to go it's easier to go to the store. It's all right there already. But that's consumerism.
Especially with our front lawn. If anyone's seen our front lawn, that's just like a dead zone of...
Well, it didn't come through?
Oh, it took. It
did?
But we just don't get enough sun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
so... Actually, vegetables probably wouldn't work well either.
Well,
it's going to be rock pretty soon.
You'd have to cut that pine out.
Yes. Yeah, we're not tree friendly around our place, so that's another podcast. But so fast forward a little bit. So you come through this, you're in the wheelchair, and then you jump into sports. So I mean, and tell me about your history. You've had a history now with sledge hockey. You've had a history with wheelchair basketball, track and field. Tell me about this path.
Okay, well, right while I was still in the hospital, a friend came to me in the hospital and was like, "Man, when you're ready," like a guy I used to drink with. He's already in a wheelchair, right? Neighborhood guy, drank with him pre. He's like, "When you're ready, back in Kitchener, you're ready to like come hang out, like come over anytime." Sweet, thanks. And I was into going to the gym and lifting weights. That's about it. Getting big and strong. And that's literally what I did for 6 months. But I went over to him and he played wheelchair rugby.
Wheelchair rugby?
Yeah. Quads only. Quadriplegics only.
Okay.
Right? They're quads only. And it's full contact. Yeah. But so I traveled with him for the first year and a half. He played in the U.S. League, the Ontario League. Right? So every second weekend we were going to New York City or Philly or Maine or Boston, right? And that was his life. He played wheelchair rugby. And I was big and strong. I got up to about 175 pounds. And it was just all upper body. I could just make my legs twitch a little bit at this point. So no leg mass. And I was just all upper body. It was nothing for me to grab a bag of cement like this and just pick it up, like curl it.
Holy.
Like 50 pounds, nothing. Like right now I'm pretty good. I can curl 60 pounds, like for a rep of one. That's a lot considering I weigh 143 pounds.
It is.
Like that's what I weighed in at camp, all like between 143 and 148.
Yeah.
I'm under 150 pounds, and I just got big and jacked. And I was 175 pounds. I could pick up a 200-pound guy, just grab him by the shirt and just, I was curling 90 pounds at the gym. I was a monster because that's all I did. I woke up in the morning. I would wheel from my house in Doon to the Y on Cortland.
Oh, jeez.
Every day, Steven.
How long would that take you?
It took an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
It was 10.2K. I do that, and I get there and I'd eat because I'd bring lunch. And then I'd go lift weights for 2-3 hours. Eat again.
Yeah.
Go do a cardio heavy weight. Go shower and stuff. And wheel home. That was every day. Monday to Sunday. That's what I did. Unless I was traveling with my buddy. And, that's what I did for the first 2 years. And the second year, I was like, I got to find my own sport. I need to figure this out. Yeah. I'm great. I want to play. I want to do something for myself. And I found the Twin City Spinners here, local team. And I went out to their junior team because you start playing wheelchair basketball. If you're 40, you're still going to be on the junior team your first practice.
How old were the others with you?
I was 24, 23, and the next oldest person was 15. Right? And at the time,
I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and at the time, right? I'm bulky, big, heavy. I look like you don't want to run into me in a back alley, sort of. I have my hair in cornrows. I used to have long hair, Steven, all right?
Oh, no.
So at my first practice, I had just taken them out. You ever seen the crimped hair? Well, yeah. I had a bandana on, and I had this crimped hair going, right? And,
just so you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
Just if you want to send me something.
I would love to find a picture. I could probably show you some on Facebook of me. I used to be able to grow a pretty decent white man afro.
Yep.
Right? And I showed up to these, and all the, they're kids, you know, looking at me. I'm 24 years old, and they're scared. You can tell they're just scared. Like, who's the new guy? Why does he look so scary?
Why are we not doing criminal reference checks?
Yeah. Like, and
Got it.
I'm jacked. Like, how's it going? Like, crushing little kids' hands. Not even, but, like, I don't realize how strong I am at this point, right? I'm just like, yeah, this is who I am. And we start playing, and they gave me, I'm fast. You know, I'm so big and strong, and literally I can just put my chair on one of them and, like, bulldoze through 4 of them. That's how strong I am, right?
No.
And they passed me a ball on a layup, and I went in to shoot the ball and went, and I shot this thing, and it hit the backboard and just kept going straight up. And I was like, ooh, maybe I'm a little bulky for basketball. And I was like, I guess I don't have to go so hard at the gym anymore. Literally, they're all just like, yeah, are you going to come back next week? We'll have to get you a real basketball chair, because I'm playing in a rugby chair, so it's got a cow catcher on it. I can just grab a wheel and flip a little kid like that.
Oh my god! I can just see this happening.
Yeah. Oh, and the first year, Tony Piotto, he was our coach, and he looked at me. I bet you my third practice, Steven, went, just so you know, you're gonna be coaching this team next year, and yeah, just heads up, and you'll most likely have to be the vice president of the club. What? What are you talking about, man? Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. I'm done after this year. You're next in line. I just got here. I don't even know what are you talking about.
Congratulations.
Yeah, like, so we played out the full year, and I had to play in this junior tournament, and brutal. You know, I'm playing against 13-year-olds, and the net's at 8.5 feet. I'm so big and strong, like I can literally just reach over and grab the ball from anybody and just like bring it to me. They could hold on, but they were going to be coming with the ball. You know, these playing against little kids. There was no other adults. It was me, and I was like, oh my god, this is horrendous.
You're gonna get in trouble for this. Like,
Yeah,
something's gonna go wrong.
Nope, jump ball every time. They're calling the game square. Like, I was one of them, and I was just this monster. And, like, we beat every team by 20 because, literally, they just give me the ball, and I just go sit inside. Because even those kids maxed out couldn't even look at my shoulder because I could reach. So, like, I'm only 5'10", and I have an arm span of, like, 6'3", you know? So I'm just, okay, thanks for the ball, and I'm just shooting. Like, and I'm, you know, we're winning every game by 20 or 30, and I'm having 40 points a game. And I just went over to Tony and went, this is it for me, right? And he's like, yeah, I think so. I don't think you're going to be allowed to play here anymore. I went, thank God. And then, fortunately enough for me, the spinners at the time, Pat Anderson, YouTube, that guy, he's the best wheelchair basketball player ever. Like, Michael Jordan, Pat Anderson.
Wow, okay.
Right? And phenomenal work ethic. The reason why we have so many gold medals in wheelchair basketball. You know, he is just phenomenal. And now he's 37 years old. He's going to make one more go, I think, here at the next Paris. But he doesn't have anything to prove. And my first 2 practices with the senior team were one-on-ones with him. So I got really good, really fast.
A great experience, too.
Right? Wow. And, like, I didn't know. I'm 24. He's 21 years old. He's a kid. You know? He's like, just learn to shoot with both hands. That's all you got to do. Okay. And, like, that's what we did. We shot with both hands. And that year we lost in the gold medal game at CWBL finals. Great experience. And then Pat was gone. Right? And I've never still won a CWBL championship. And I played in 9 events. So, but with that, the spinners, we had a pretty decent budget, and we ended up going to finals 3 times in the NWBA, which is the National Wheelchair Basketball Association.
How many teams do you have in that league?
Here in Canada, in Ontario, I think there's 5 teams. Across the country, probably about average 4 per province.
Okay.
Think about it that way.
Yeah.
And they have provincial finals and club finals. right? But the NWBA is a U.S. league, only in the U.S. And we played in that for 7 seasons. We went to 3 finals there and won in 2009, which is pretty huge accomplishment. There's 200 plus teams in Division 3.
Wow.
Right? So for us to be U.S. national championships is a pretty big deal.
That is
especially because we're the only Canadian team, you know.
That's fantastic.
But we also
a lot of pride there. That's for sure.
Well, we were running $100,000 budget, close to that a year. The club, like when I was playing ball and we were traveling heavily, like it was nothing to be like, hey man, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm going to South Beach, bro, for the weekend. What? Yeah, I got a basketball tournament there. Oh, when are you leaving? Like today? It's Wednesday. We're flying in Friday and we'll fly home Sunday. Just going for the weekend, man. What don't you get? What are you doing the weekend after that? I think we're in Denver. Oh, are you home the weekend after that? Actually, we're in Montreal. I think their CWBL is playing that weekend. What? Yeah, my first free weekend is in 2 months, man. You want to make plans? Yeah, call me in 2 months. You know, because
full schedule
like that, and that's how it was. When I started in 2008, I started playing sledge hockey because I'd done all this adult playing basketball, but I was the coach of the junior program, and if I wasn't playing, I was going with them to tournaments and coaching at tournaments with them, you know. So literally every weekend. And in 2008, one of my athletes, she came to me and her parents came to me and went, Kris, do you want to come play sledge hockey? And I went, no. They went, look, we just need a goalie. It's a really easy position to play. We only need someone to be on the road goalie for us. Like, we'll come pick you up out of your house. I said, well, you'll have to come pick me up, supply me with equipment, drive me there, feed me. These are all my okay.
Oh, jeez.
And, you know, I didn't even play the right way. They said, do you know how to play goalie? I said, well, I took power skating when I was a kid in goalie skates. I think I know how to play goal.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I never played forward. I was always a goalie.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh. And we went down and they were expecting just to get hammered on the London team. Like, the London team was there to blow us out.
Yeah.
You know, and they knew it. And we only had 6 skaters and me in that, my first ever game, and I'm playing the wrong hand. I don't even have the equipment.
You don't have the right equipment.
Opposite hand. We won that game 7-3. and they outshot us probably 2-1. Like we probably had 8 shots and we scored 7 goals.
Wow.
And they had, you know, at least 16 and they only scored 3. And after the game, the coach of that team, he was the provincial coach, he was like, do you want to maybe come out and try out for the provincial team next year? And I was like, I'm just doing this as a favor. Like,
yeah. They offered to pick me up.
I'm a wheelchair basketball player. That's literally I play wheelchair basketball. Well, just come out and try. I was like, well, I got to get the right gear. He's like, what do you mean the right gear? I was like, well, this isn't my my catching hand. I'm the other hand. And he was like, you need to come out and play on our provincial team.
Oh, man.
And I was like, yeah, whatever. Send the info to the club if I become a member. Because this is 2008. So 2009, I won a U.S. championship in wheelchair basketball. Mm-hmm. I also decided, I'm going to give this sledge hockey a go. And I make the provincial sledge hockey team. So my weekends just went from, hey, I'm going to South Beach to, oh, I got a hockey camp.
I got to go to Regina.
Yeah, in Huntsville. Or, you know, it was all Ontario, like Sudbury. But it's always just for the weekend.
Yeah.
Right? And literally, I was gone 28 out of 36 weekends.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
All because you said just come pick me up.
Yeah. And it literally, that's how my life's been. Like, it was 2 out of 4 weekends in a month, I was on the road with just basketball. Then I went to 3 out of 4 with hockey.
Wow.
You know, and I did that for 2 seasons.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And it was, like, got to the point where I was skating Wednesday mornings in Oakville, going to the gym with another buddy in Brampton, and then going to Guelph at night to play wheelchair basketball practice. And that was my day. Like every day throughout the week, and then weekends wherever I was.
So how did you pay for everything? If you're doing all this stuff, is it...
Basketball paid for everything.
Okay.
Like the club actually paid for my hotel, my flights. We got per diems per day that we were there. It was $40 a day. So you go to South Beach for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's $120 US. Room covered. Everything's covered.
Yep. Got
to go play basketball. That was it. Like that's how the money was delegated for. That's what we were there for. With hockey, I qualified for Quest for Gold.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense now.
Right?
Yep.
So, and this is way back right when it first got started. And there was no Own the Podium then. It was just Quest for Gold. And that's just strictly in Ontario. No other provinces get that.
Volleyball has that as well. Yeah, I remember that.
Right? And it's peanuts now. Like, I qualified for Quest for Gold last year. But that's because Hockey Canada carded me for 4 months as a dev card. So automatically I qualify for any provincial of Hockey Canada. Right? If Heritage Canada goes, you can have some money, the provinces go, oh, here's your money.
Yeah.
Right? So Quest for Gold when I first started was almost 10 grand a person. Not a problem. Because there was only 4 sports teams recognized that were qualifying for it.
I remember all this.
And sledge hockey was like one of the first. So like our first 2 years, we all actually made money to play sledge hockey. Season was costing $5,000. We'd have $5,000 in the bank. Well, then more teams got involved. So Quest for Gold went down. And my last Quest for Gold at the provincial level was, I think, $2,200. And the season still cost $5,000. But yeah, so I did that transition for 2 years from basketball to sledge. And then in that time, my teammate passed away on the court. Another teammate passed away, and it was just...
What happened on the court?
Heart attack.
Yeah,
he was 60. Been my roommate for 10 years. It was really, really a difficult thing. Like, I saw him. We were winning. We were at this tournament winning. And he came over to the bench. He was like, "Sub, my chest hurts." I was like, "Larry, you need to take some aspirin." I said it to him. "All right, you need to take some aspirin, man." He's like, No, I'm fine. And he went over, and he sat there at the scorer's table. And then he just wheeled out of the gym. And I looked at, I don't even know who on our bench. I went, "Someone needs to go find him. Like, where'd he go? He's not good. Look at him, how pale he was." And they went and found him, and he was like on the ground, and EMT came, and they rushed him to the hospital, and like 2 of our teammates went with them. So we started the next game, well, thinking, okay, Larry got to the hospital, cool. We only have 5. And Don came wandering back into the gym and looked at me, just shook his head. And I was like, "Tyler, give me the ball." And Tyler Miller, young guy here in town, is on our national ball team. "Throw me the ball." "No, man, I got this." I went, "Throw me the ball." He threw me the ball, and I literally looked at the ref and went, "Timeout," and just threw the ball out of bounds. Because I had threw the ball out of bounds and called the timeout. He was like, "Oh," we all went over. Literally just held hands, cried for our timeout. He's like, "It's gone." And they said, "You guys want to keep playing?" And we were like, "Yeah, yeah, we do. Yeah, our teammates passed away. I feel sorry for you, other team."
Again, there's that outlook.
Like, literally, Steven, we walloped these other teams so badly. The team we were playing, we were already winning by like 2 baskets. And I think we won by 58 or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
And they couldn't miss, we couldn't miss, and they couldn't make a thing. And like that's the whole tournament went like that. And I didn't pack Larry's stuff up. I left it sitting there. We even went back to the gym the next day, and I left this stuff just lying out because I couldn't do it. And we won the tournament, and I think I was MVP of the tournament, and I was like, yeah, cool. And I was like, okay, I gotta go back to the hotel and pack Larry's stuff. And I packed everything up and threw my MVP trophy in there and just sent it on home with him because he drove. Don had to drive his car home.
Oh, man.
You know, we were in Syracuse. We weren't even in Canada. Right? You ever had to get a body across the border?
I have heard once of it, and yes, it's not easy.
Yeah, that's right. And like, it was horrid for Don. He had to drive his vehicle back to Fergus, to his family. You know, it was a really, really crappy 3 months. And then another friend of ours who played ball passed away that winter. Kidney. He was a kidney transplant and a pancreas transplant. So he actually was a diabetic. And then with the new pancreas, diabetes gone, right? Well, that failed, and then the kidneys failed. He got pneumonia, and he passed away at home. You know, people like, he had 20 unanswered text messages. Hey, man, what are you doing? Hey, you want to come over? Hey, because he was a single guy, you know, 45, hard, you know. He'd been in and out of the hospital since he was 18. You know, he'd met some people in his life, but like no love interest, no partner, right? So he's a single guy, lived at home alone. And yeah, he passed, and that was it for me with basketball. I couldn't bear any more teammates.
Yeah.
You know, and then sledge hockey.
It's just, it's funny when you talk about your path, and everyone's got that path, and you know, everything happens for a reason. You know, everything happens for a reason, and I'm a firm believer in that. It's,
you know what happened for a reason, Steven? His coffee's empty. Is there a pause button? I
was going deep there, and the coffee's empty. Oh man.
Okay, go deep, and then we'll get
all right. That was it. That's all I got. Everything happens for a reason. That's it. The end. Done. So there you have it. There's part 2 of episode 4 with Kris. Like I said, we got into some pretty deep stuff there, and if you've listened to that episode and you can take away 1 or 2 things, believe me, it's definitely worth your time. So again, don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, RBC Stephen Green, same handles for both. And we've got part 3 coming up, episode 4 of Kris. Definitely not as long as this episode, but we get into more of some lighter humor. We get into wheelchair humor, and there's some funny stuff in there. So until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Green Effect Podcast. Subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or Google Play so you catch the next episode. And don't forget to leave a review. Much appreciated.